little bit different. I certainly talk different. And the kids at first.
Bobbie Gentry, the voice behind the iconic Ode to Billie Joe, rose to stardom with her soulful storytelling and unforgettable charm. Then, just when she had captured the hearts of many, she vanished without explanation. Whatever happened to the country musician, no one could tell. Join us as we delve into the story behind the mysterious disappearance of Bobbie Gentry. Striving for success. Roberta Lee Streeter, later known to the world as Bobbie Gentry, was born on July 27, 1942, near Woodland in Chickasaw County, Mississippi. Her early life was shaped by hardship and resilience. Her parents, Ruby Lee and Robert Harrison Streeter, divorced shortly after her birth, leaving Gentry to be raised on a rural farm by her paternal grandparents. Life on the farm was modest and lacking in modern conveniences. There was no electricity or indoor plumbing. Despite these challenges, her childhood bore the seeds of her creative talents. Her grandmother, recognizing Gentry's early interest in music, traded one of the family's milk cows for a neighbor's piano. It was on this instrument that Gentry, at just 7 years old, composed her first song, a playful tune titled, "My Dog Sergeant is a Good Dog." For a period, she lived in Greenwood, Mississippi with her father, during which she learned to play the guitar and banjo. These years were critical in shaping her musical foundation and deepening her connection to the Southern roots that would later define her artistry. At the age of 13, she relocated to Palm Springs, California, to live with her mother, who had remarried. They both briefly performed under the name Ruby and Bobbie Myers. It was around this time Gentry adopted her stage name, inspired by the 1952 film Ruby Gentry. The movie's protagonist, played by Jennifer Jones, was a poor but captivating girl from the backwoods who marries a wealthy man, a narrative that resonated with Gentry and mirrored themes of aspiration and complexity that would later feature prominently in her work. After completing high school, Gentry moved to Los Angeles and enrolled at UCLA as a philosophy major. To support herself, she took on clerical jobs and occasionally performed at local nightclubs and country clubs. Her captivating presence didn't go unnoticed. During a review at the Les Folies Bergère nightclub in Las Vegas, entertainer Bob Hope encouraged her to continue performing. Around this time, she also ventured into fashion modeling, appearing in a widely circulated photo alongside Cheryl Crane, Lana Turner's daughter. Despite her diverse endeavors, Gentry's passion for music remained strong. She eventually transferred to the Los Angeles Conservatory of Music, where she immersed herself in classes on composition, music theory, and arranging. In 1966, Gentry's musical journey took a significant turn. While attending a Jody Reynolds concert in Palm Springs, she boldly asked to join one of his recording sessions. This led to her recording 2 duets with Reynolds, Stranger in the Mirror and Requiem for Love. Although the songs were released later that year by Titan Records, they failed to gain traction. Undeterred, Gentry continued honing her craft. In early 1967, she recorded a demo at Whitney Recording Studio in Glendale, California. At the time, her ambition was not to become a performer, but to write songs for others. In an interview, she admitted that she sang on the demo of Ode to Billie Joe herself, simply to save money on hiring a vocalist. However, her talent did not go unnoticed. On June 23, 1967, Gentry signed with Capitol Records, with Kelly Gordon as her producer. Initially, her song Mississippi Delta was intended as the A-side of her first single, and it was this song that initially secured her record deal. But after Gentry's demo of Ode to Billie Joe was enhanced with a string arrangement by Jimmy Haskell, Capitol's A&R team quickly turned.
We were going to release Mississippi Delta as my A-side, and about 5 weeks later I wrote 4 or 5 more songs.
They decided to promote Ode to Billie Joe as the A-side instead. Released on July 10, 1967, the song became an immediate sensation. It spent 4 weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100, earned the number 3 spot on the year-end chart, and even reached number 8 on the Billboard Black Singles chart. Internationally, it climbed to number 13 on the UK Top 40. The haunting narrative of the song, paired with its sparse yet evocative production, captivated listeners, leading to over 3 million copies sold worldwide. In 2001, Rolling Stone magazine honored Ode to Billie Joe by including it among the 500 greatest songs of all time. The single's runaway success prompted Capitol Records to act quickly. They assembled Gentry's debut album, Ode to Billie Joe, using 12 demos she had recorded. Overdubs were added in a matter of days to create a polished final product. Far from being a collection of disparate tracks, the album showcased a cohesive blend of blues, folk, and jazz, reflecting Gentry's Southern upbringing and artistic sensibilities. Released on August 21, 1967, the album became an instant hit, even unseating the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band from the top of the Billboard 200. It also climbed to number 5 on the Billboard Black Albums chart, a testament to its wide appeal. Gentry's accomplishments in 1967 were nothing short of remarkable. She won 3 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, cementing her status as a breakout star. Additionally, she was named the Academy of Country Music's Most Promising Female Vocalist, a recognition of her ability to transcend genres, exploring new grounds. In February 1968, Bobbie Gentry participated in the prestigious Italian Song Festival in San Remo. She performed La Siepe, a composition by Vito Pallavicini and Massara, sharing the stage with another performer of the same song. To coincide with her appearance at the festival, Capitol Records released the track as a single. On the reverse side of the record, they featured another Italian song that Gentry had recorded, titled La Città è Grande, written by Pallavicini and De Ponti. This move highlighted Gentry's adaptability and international appeal, showcasing her ability to cross cultural boundaries and perform in multiple languages, a rarity for American artists of the time. February 1968 also saw the release of Gentry's second studio album, The Delta Suite. This album marked a bold progression in her artistic journey, moving beyond the simplicity of her debut. A deeply personal concept album, The Delta Suite, drew inspiration from her upbringing in the Mississippi Delta. Its tracks painted vivid portraits of Southern life, blending storytelling with intricate instrumentation. Remarkably, Gentry herself played most of the instruments featured on the album, including the piano, guitar, banjo, bass, and vibes. Her hands-on approach emphasized her versatility and control over her music. However, despite her substantial involvement, Capitol's Kelly Gordon, who had also produced her debut album, received sole production credit. The album produced 2 entries on the Billboard Hot 100, Okolona River Bottom Band, which reached number 54, and a cover of Louisiana Man, which landed at number 100. However, the Delta Suite failed to replicate the commercial triumph of her debut, peaking at only number 132 on the Billboard 200. Over time, though, the album has gathered critical acclaim, with many regarding it as an overlooked gem of the 1960s. Critics have praised its rich narratives and experimental sound, cementing its place as a cult favorite among music enthusiasts. Later that year, in August, Gentry released her third album, Local Gentry. Unfortunately, the album failed to make an impact on the Billboard album charts. It did, however, reach number 83 on the Cashbox Top 100 Albums chart. Despite the lack of commercial success, Local Gentry showcased her continued exploration of storytelling and musical innovation, offering a glimpse into her artistic ambitions during a prolific year. Just a month after Local Gentry, Capitol released another project featuring Gentry. This time she collaborated with fellow label artist Glen Campbell. The album, titled Bobbie Gentry and Glen Campbell, showcased the undeniable chemistry between the two performers, blending their distinct voices into a harmonious partnership. The collaboration proved to be a resounding success, reaching number 11 on the Billboard Top LPs chart and topping the Country LPs chart. The album also achieved gold certification from the RIAA, further solidifying Gentry's stature in the music industry. The success of the album earned them the Academy of Country Music Award for Album of the Year, and Gentry received a nomination for Top Female Vocalist, highlighting her growing recognition in the country and pop music landscapes. Gentry's achievements in 1968 extended beyond her music. She was invited to host her own variety show on BBC Two in the UK, making history as the first female songwriter to lead a series on the channel. Bobbie Gentry, as the show was titled, premiered on July 13, 1968, and aired weekly for 6 episodes until August 17 of that year. The program featured a mix of Mississippi-inspired musical performances and guest appearances by notable artists, including Donovan, The Hollies, James Taylor, Glen Campbell, Randy Newman, Elton John, Alan Price, Billy Preston, and the dance group Pan's People. Its unique format and Gentry's charismatic presence set it apart, attracting widespread attention. The show's success led to 2 additional 6-episode series, which aired from June to July 1969 and February to March 1971. The series became a platform for her to showcase her creativity, produced and directed by Stanley Dorfman, who was engaged to Gentry in just a month after she had divorced her first husband. Gentry had been married to William Bill Harrah, a prominent casino magnate known for founding Harrah's Hotel and Casinos, who she wed on December 18, 1969. Despite the allure of this union, their marriage was brief, resulting in divorce on April 16, 1970. This relationship, which lasted merely 4 months, suggested challenges in reconciling their individual lifestyles and commitments. Shortly after her divorce from Harrah, in May 1970, reports surfaced of Gentry's engagement to Stanley Dorfman. However, this engagement did not lead to marriage, and details surrounding their relationship remain sparse. The nature of their connection, whether purely professional or extending into the personal realm, remains a subject of speculation. Dorfman later revealed that Gentry had a significant role in shaping the show, contributing as a co-director despite not being formally credited. He described her as a source of innovative ideas, deeply involved in the creative process. Music arranger John Cameron noted that Gentry was a commanding presence on set, standing out in an environment dominated by male crew members. Although Bobbie Gentry was widely syndicated and garnered acclaim, the BBC's practice of wiping tapes meant that only 5 of the original 18 episodes survived. These remaining episodes were rebroadcast in November 2023 on BBC4, offering viewers a rare glimpse into her groundbreaking work as a television host. During her time in the United Kingdom from 1968 to 1971, Gentry made numerous guest appearances on other BBC programs. Notably, she performed in a 1-hour special for the In Concert series, which aired on October 30, 1970. She also appeared on Glenn Campbell's BBC 2 special, which was broadcast on May 6 of the same year. Though Bobbie Gentry's endeavors epitomized her ambition and multifaceted talent, not all her projects achieved commercial success. Struggles and setbacks. In July 1969, Bobbie Gentry released her 5th album, Touch 'Em With Love, a project that marked a significant shift in her artistic direction. The album reflected an attempt to redefine Gentry as a blue-eyed soul singer, moving away from her characteristic regional storytelling. Unlike her earlier works, which were steeped in Southern influences and largely self-written, this album leaned heavily on carefully selected cover songs. Out of the 10 tracks on the album, only 2 were original compositions by Gentry. Produced by Kelso Hurston and recorded in Nashville, the project represented a calculated effort to broaden her appeal beyond her traditional audience. The title track was released as the lead single, but it struggled to make an impact on the charts, peaking at number 113 on Billboard's Bubbling Under the Hot 100. The album itself also fell short of expectations, reaching only number 164 on the Billboard 200. However, Gentry's rendition of I'll Never Fall in Love Again brought a different story overseas. Released as the album's 2nd single in the United Kingdom, it soared to the top of the United Kingdom singles chart. The album performed significantly well, climbing to number 21 on the United Kingdom albums chart. While the commercial response in the United States was underwhelming, her success in the United Kingdom highlighted her versatility and global potential. During the same year, Gentry expanded her career into television. She taped 4 television specials for CFTO TV Toronto, aimed at syndication across North America. These specials were an indication of her growing interest in diversifying her creative pursuits beyond music. Then in April 1970, Fancy was released, Gentry's 6th album within just 3 years. Like its predecessor, it was dominated by cover songs, with the exception of the self-penned title track. Much of the album was recorded at Fame Recording Studios in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, under the direction of producer Rick Hall. The title track, Fancy, became one of Gentry's most iconic songs, solidifying her reputation as a bold and unapologetic artist. The single peaked within the top 40 in the United States, Canada, and Australia, making it her biggest hit since her breakout song, Ode to Billie Joe. Gentry herself described Fancy as her strongest statement for women's liberation. In a 1974 interview, she explained that the song reflected her support for issues like equality, equal pay, daycare access, and abortion rights. It was a powerful anthem that emphasized her alignment with the feminist movement of the time, adding depth and context to her growing discography. The album's first European single, a cover of Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, achieved moderate success, reaching number 40. However, the second North American single, He Made a Woman Out of Me, did not perform as well, peaking at a modest number 71 on the Billboard Hot 100. Despite these mixed chart performances, Gentry received critical recognition for her work. She earned a nomination for Best Female Contemporary Vocal Performance at the 13th Annual Grammy Awards. In April 1971, Gentry released Patchwork, a deeply personal project that stood out as her first entirely self-written and self-produced album. The record was a collage of musical styles, blending country, pop, and blues into a seamless collection of songs that felt like short stories brought to life. Interspersed with cinematic interludes, the album offered a cohesive narrative that highlighted Gentry's skills as a songwriter and producer. The first single from the album, But I Can't Get Back, achieved modest success, peaking at number 37 on the Billboard Top 40 Easy Listening chart and number 93 in Canada. However, Gentry's career faced an unfortunate turning point around the time of Patchwork's release. A major restructuring at Capitol Records, her label, resulted in the dismissal of the entire executive board that had supported her career. As Capitol's parent company, EMI, sought to reverse declining profits, the label underwent significant changes. The artist roster was drastically reduced, from 247 to just 81, and production and marketing budgets were slashed. In this new corporate environment, negotiations for the renewal of Gentry's contract hit a dead end. Without any of her original supporters left at Capitol, Gentry was unable to reach a new agreement that satisfied her terms. As a result, she found herself in a frustrating situation, unable to release music with Capitol under the existing contract, and simultaneously unable to sign with another label until her option period expired. This period of contractual suspension effectively put her recording career on hold. Despite these setbacks, Gentry continued to explore opportunities outside of music. In 1974, she hosted a summer replacement variety show on CBS titled The Bobbie Gentry Happiness Hour. Modeled after Glenn Campbell's successful series, The Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour, Gentry's show was her attempt to establish a presence in television. However, it was not renewed for a full season, marking another missed opportunity for sustained success in a new medium. Finding a way out. In 1975, Bobbie Gentry showcased her multifaceted talents by writing and performing the evocative song Another Place, Another Time for writer-director Max Baer Jr.'s film Macon County Line. This project provided Gentry with a unique opportunity to contribute musically to a film that would achieve notable success. Riding on the wave of the movie's popularity, the song was released as a promotional 7-inch single, further affirming Gentry's connection to the film's legacy. The following year, in 1976, Max Baer Jr. embarked on directing the feature film Ode to Billie Joe, which was inspired by Gentry's hauntingly poetic hit song Ode to Billie Joe. The film, starring Robbie Benson and Glynis O'Connor, delved into the mysterious circumstances surrounding the titular character taking their life, providing an interpretation of the story that added a layer of drama and emotional complexity.
Thinking about making a feature-length film of Ode to Billie Joe. I'm happy.
In the movie, the narrative revealed the catalyst for Billie Joe's despair to be a profound inner conflict tied to his romantic feelings for Bobby Lee Hartley and a distressing incident involving a drunken gay encounter. To accompany the film's release, Warner Brothers Records produced a soundtrack composed by the renowned Michael Legrand. Included in the album was a re-recorded version of Gentry's song, retitled Ode to Billie Joe to align with the movie's title. Gentry herself clarified that the original spelling of Billie in the title was a mistake. The updated version was released as a single by Warner Bros., while Capitol Records simultaneously re-released the original version, creating an unusual scenario where Gentry had two versions of the same song competing on the charts. Remarkably, the re-recording would ultimately become Gentry's final charting single, marking a bookend to her recording career, her first and last chart entries being two versions of the same iconic song. On August 17, 1976, Gentry married Thomas R. Tautant. However, her personal life would soon take a back seat to her professional endeavors. In 1977, Gentry reunited with producer Rick Hall to work on a new album for Warner Brothers Records under its Curb Records division. Unlike their previous collaboration on her 1969 Fancy album, which had been recorded at Hall's legendary Fame Studios, these sessions took place at the nearby Music Mill studio in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. The project began with the release of an advance single, Steal Away, in February 1978. This song was a remake of Jimmy Hughes' 1964 hit, which had been a crucial track in Fame Studios' early success. Unfortunately, the single failed to gain traction, and the album was ultimately shelved. The B-side of Steal Away featured a song titled He Did Me Wrong, But He Did It Right, written by Patty Dahlstrom. These tracks, along with 3 others recorded during Gentry's 1977 sessions, Slow Cookin' by Abby Marable, Sweet Country, penned by Gentry herself, and Thunder in the Afternoon, co-written by Mac Davis, Rita Grimm, and Yvonne Norman, were later released on the 1992 European compilation album Ode to Billie Joe. On August 1, 1978, Gentry's marriage to Thomas R. Towton officially ended in divorce. Just 2 months later, on October 15, she married singer and comedian Jim Stafford. Their relationship brought about a new chapter in Gentry's life as they welcomed a son, Tyler Gentry Stafford. Gentry's public appearances during this period were sporadic but memorable. On Christmas Day in 1978, she made a notable guest appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, captivating audiences with her charm and talent. She later attended the Best of Vegas Awards on March 21, 1980, continuing to maintain a presence in the entertainment world. Despite the joys of motherhood, her marriage to Stafford proved short-lived, and the couple divorced in September 1980. One of her most heartfelt performances came on May 10, 1981, when she participated in the television special An All-Star Salute to Mother's Day. During the program, Gentry performed Mama, a Rainbow from the musical Minnie's Boys, dedicating the moving rendition to her mother, who was present in the audience. This touching moment would ultimately serve as her final public performance, a fittingly sentimental conclusion to her career in the spotlight. The last time Gentry appeared publicly was on April 30, 1982, when she attended the Academy of Country Music Awards. Following this appearance, she retreated from the public eye entirely. Gentry's decision to step away from the entertainment industry and maintain her privacy has remained a source of fascination for fans and critics alike. But like any rising music artiste, she had her fair share of struggles and controversies. Controversial issues. Bobbie Gentry's rise to stardom and subsequent disappearance from the spotlight remain one of music's most fascinating tales that continue to provoke interest. Her 1967 hit, Ode to Billie Joe, not only launched her into fame, but also became a subject of speculation and scrutiny. Through her artistry, Gentry crafted evocative narratives, but the ambiguity surrounding her career, particularly her exit, has led to enduring intrigue. One of the most contentious aspects of Gentry's career involves authorship disputes over her most iconic song. Written with an enigmatic and haunting quality, Ode to Billie Joe resonated deeply with audiences, earning critical recognition and chart-topping success. However, claims that she did not pen the song herself have marred its legacy. Singer-songwriter Jim Ford, who was romantically linked to Gentry, alleged that he was the true author. Ford argued that the song's brilliance stood as an outlier in her discography, suggesting she lacked the creative prowess to replicate its impact. While Ford's accusation drew attention, it lacked substantial evidence. His songwriting style, often explicit and direct, contrasted sharply with the subtle, interpretative quality of Ode to Billie Joe. Moreover, he never pursued legal action against Gentry or Capitol Records, leaving his claims speculative at best. Some have dismissed Ford's allegations as an opportunistic attempt to share the spotlight, though they still cast an unnecessary shadow over Gentry's authenticity as a songwriter. Beyond disputes over her work, Gentry faced challenges that reflected deeper systemic issues within the music industry. As a woman navigating a male-dominated field, she confronted gender biases that often sought to undermine her talent and autonomy. Gentry's desire to maintain creative control over her work was unusual for a female artist at the time and frequently caused tension. One such instance involved Bobby Paris, who was credited as the producer of Ode to Billie Joe. Reports suggest that Paris felt sidelined by Gentry's independence, prompting him to retaliate in juvenile ways, such as defacing photographs of her. Such behavior highlighted the challenges she faced in asserting herself against a backdrop of pervasive genderism. Meanwhile, Gentry's striking appearance only exacerbated these biases. Many dismissed her intellect and capability, reducing her to the role of a mere performer rather than a multifaceted artist. In interviews, she often defended her intelligence and emphasized her role as one of the few successful female producers in the industry. Her firmness and refusal to conform to traditional expectations made her a trailblazer, but they also likely alienated her from an industry reluctant to embrace such change. Adding to the complexity of Gentry's story are the cultural and racial implications tied to her most famous work. Ode to Billie Joe is set in the rural South and references the Tallahatchie Bridge, a location indelibly linked to the tragic 1995 lynching of Emmett Till, an event that galvanized the civil rights movement. While Gentry's song doesn't explicitly address racial issues, critics have questioned the decision to set a fictional narrative in such a historically significant place. This critique suggests that her work, though powerful, contributed to a broader cultural trend that sought to portray the South in a neutral or sanitized light, ignoring the realities of racial tension and injustice. Whether intentional or not, these interpretations add layers of complexity to Gentry's legacy, painting her as both an artistic innovator and a figure whose work has sparked uncomfortable questions about representation. Perhaps the most enduring and intriguing controversy surrounding Gentry is her sudden withdrawal from the public eye. In 1982, she made the extraordinary decision to step away entirely, canceling performances and cutting ties with the music industry without explanation. This abrupt exit left fans, colleagues, and critics alike speculating about her motivations. Some suggested that frustration with the exploitative nature of the industry played a role, while others pointed to personal reasons, such as a desire for privacy or exhaustion from constant scrutiny. Her mysterious nature only fueled the confusion, as she refused to provide any public statements or clarifications. While her retreat is respected by many, it has also become a source of endless fascination, with countless theories emerging about her whereabouts and reasons for disappearing. Bobbie Gentry's story is as captivating as it is confounding. Her career, defined by artistic brilliance and bold independence, reflects the broader challenges faced by women in creative industries as she battled against societal norms that sought to confine her to a specific mold. Despite, or perhaps because of, these controversies, Gentry remains an enduring figure, one whose contributions to music continue to resonate for years to come. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.